Hello, everybody. Dan here. Welcome back to Daily Soap Dish. If you're new here, please hit that subscribe button down below because we cover a ton of 90 Day Fiance here on the channel. So today we're going to talk about a couple that has been in the news once again recently. And that's because they are appearing on 90 Day The Last Resort, and they are fan favorite. Of course, I'm being sarcastic. They are one of the more infamous couples out there on 90 Day Fiance, and we're talking about Rob Warne and Sophie Sierra. Now, we met Rob and Sophie about a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years by now. And they just seemed like a mismatch straight from the start. And of course, you guys remember when Sophie made her way from the UK to LA and she had to live in Rob's apartment, if we can even call it that didn't have a bathroom. She had to go outside. So that was basically a sign of things to come for this relationship. We knew things weren't really going to work out at that point. But some of the other things about this couple that I can say is that Sophie called herself a model. And of course, we didn't really think she was a real model, but basically an Instagram wannabe influencer. And that's really the main reason why I think most people come on the show these days anyways. And of course, we also kind of exposed Rob's past. I think one of the most watched videos recently on this channel is Rob's gay past exposed, because Rob was, well, I don't know if he's gay, but he was gay for pay. He did some content where he sold and made money by selling gay content to gay people, and he did that in his past. So funny that that's one of the most watched videos here on the channel, but that's just the kind of people that these two are. So where we stand with Rob and Sierra, well, they're broken up, and of course we knew that this relationship wasn't going to last. I think they've been broken up for quite some time now, but just recently Sophie is hinting that maybe she is going to move back to the UK. What's that all about? So let's take a look at what's going on with Sophie and her hinting that she's going to the UK. We'll also talk a little bit about Rob because, well, he had some tragic news, but is it really tragic, or is Rob just trying to pull a fast one on his followers? Once again, we'll discuss that as well. So first things first, Sophie Sierra here. So she expressed her desire to return to London, England, following her rumored breakup with Rob Warne. I'm not sure if it's rumored. I don't think these two are together, and I don't think they've been together for a while. She made her reality TV debut in season 10 with Rob Warne, who proposed to her at the airport. She faced many challenges in her relationship with Rob, including alleged infidelity and personal differences. I mean, I think the challenges kind of go both ways, to be fair to Rob. I mean, Sophie was also allegedly a lesbian at one point, and she was talking to a girl, and there was this whole thing about, is Sophie a lesbian because she, also kind of likes girls. Never really bought that to be true. I thought it was just a talking point on the show. But there's been all of these different shenanigans with this couple. Rob's, instances of cheating. Sophie Sierra not sure which way she should swing, of course. And also the drama with Sophie's mom, which was pretty shocking. Sophie's mom was in Texas and got arrested as well, basically because, well, she wasn't a fan of what Sophie's life choices were. Now, yeah, so there was infidelity accusations, but she married him in hopes of resolving these issues. I'm not sure, guys. I mean, Sophie is young, right? She's about 9 or 10 years younger than Rob. But every time I hear this, marrying in hopes of resolving issues, maybe you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but if you have issues before marriage, does that ever get better? Because in my opinion, if you see all these red flags before marriage, generally these are only going to get worse and more evident, and there's only going to be more problems as you get married and you get tied down, and then you get to live with the person, and then you really get to see their true self. So I don't know if you have problems that getting married is almost ever a solution, but a lot of 90 Day Fiance people, this is how they do it. They meet, they got problems, and they decide to solve those issues by getting married. Something that boggles my mind. So Sophie and Rob recently returned to The Last Resort season 2 to seek marriage counseling. I got to ask you guys, and you guys will let me know what you think. Do you guys truly believe that Rob and Sophie are or were or are seeking marriage help and counseling, or are they just showing up on TV because they are thirsty for airtime? I mean, on the last season of The Last Resort, on the first season, we had a bunch of couples on there that we already knew were broken up, but they were still there on the show and pretending like they were seeking marriage counseling. And so I have a feeling that this season is basically the same thing, more or less, from what I'm seeing anyways. And so this show is more like a last grasp at some reality TV fame, besides going on like The Single Life or something like that, but still trying to keep up the facade that, hey, we're still a couple, we just have a lot of problems, and we're trying to work them out, and we need marriage counseling and whatever BS that they are telling people. But in reality, they're not even together. They're likely seeing other people, and the relationship has probably been done for months, if not years. But it's, this is what The Last Resort is, at least the way that I see it. Now, Sophie did a TikTok live discussing what would lead her to go back to her home country. And she said, I feel like I would move to London with kids. She suggested that she doesn't have plans to return yet, but maybe once she has children, she will. She also mentioned that she would only go back to London once she was expecting a child, because she says that the UK is a better place to raise kids than America is, because you get a whole bunch of benefits. You get more security. The government helps you more and things of that nature. Let's see what Sophie said right here. And this is on the reality TV mess.
As soon as I'm moving back to London, maybe when I have kids, I feel like I would move to London with kids. Would I move before kids? I don't think so. Mainly because I would want my kids to be in there's free healthcare in London, and I just feel like there's just more benefits. Like right now, I mean, isn't really a point.
So you can kind of see here, basically.
Why would I go back home? What a silly question.
Now, I got to tell you guys that I actually love reading the comments here, and people have seen enough of this BS. They already know what's going on. So you can just see here this comment by George Mossy. So by doing OnlyFans in the USA is preparing her for motherhood. And I think that hits the nail on the head. Basically, Sophie is just BSing her audience. She is telling people that, maybe at some point she wants to move because, she's thinking about having kids and whatnot. But really, the reality is that she is just trying to use the show to get social media fame and to get OnlyFans subscribers. Now, I gotta say, guys, I mean, perhaps this is just where the world is heading. But I don't know. Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm showing my age. Maybe you guys will let me know what you think about this. But I don't like it. I don't like that the show is becoming a platform for people like Jasmine, people like Sophie, and countless others. I mean, basically, you name it. The show has become a platform for wannabe social media influencers and OnlyFans content creators to use as a springboard to get subscribers and to get more followers. And I don't know. I think it cheapens the show. I want to see real relationships. I don't want to see Jasmine and her boobs that seem to get bigger each and every time. I mean, if I wanted to see that, I'd go on her OnlyFans, but I don't. I want to see real couples because that's what the show is like. I want to learn about new cultures. I don't care about OnlyFans. I don't care about any of that. But perhaps, I don't know, maybe it's me that's disconnected. Maybe this is just where the world is heading towards, and we just need to accept it. We just need to embrace it. We just need to go with the flow. I don't know. You guys let me know what you think about that in the comment section down below. But I truly feel like that's what this show has become. And I feel like the show is going down as a result of that. But like I said, maybe it's me that's disconnected. I don't know. Sometimes I'm not sure. But there you have it. Sophie just saying that she wants to go back eventually if she has kids. I'm not sure she's ever going to go back. What Sophie's future move to London after having kids would mean? Well, her comments suggest that she has split up with Rob. Most cast members who have had a baby with their American partners have opted to remain in the U.S., but her aspiration to return to London and raise her kids, well, that indicates that she's no longer in a committed relationship with Rob. It seems that she's now single and maybe prioritizing her personal goals. Now, yeah, so there's a lot of verbiage here about them no longer being together. I'm pretty sure they're no longer together. They've been broken up for probably over a year. I mean, we know that Sophie in 2023 moved out of Rob's apartment. And what's going on with Rob? Well, you know, he did share a heartbreaking story not that long ago, just a few days ago. And this is the story right here. So, update on Rome. He posted this. Response from the vet. The lesion growths on Rome's lips result in lymphoma. So lymphoma and additional tests are required to confirm the diagnosis. I'll let you know the cost of the additional test. Lymphoma specifically, epitheliotropic lymphoma, also known as mycosis fungoides, I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, guys, is a rare and progressive skin cancer that affects dogs. This type of T-cell lymphoma typically occurs in older dogs, usually between 8 and 10 years. The average survival time for affected dogs ranges from 8 months to 1.5 years. So it's sad and it's tragic, but what's concerning to me is that he is telling people that he's going to let them know the cost. So this hints to me that he is perhaps about to drop some kind of GoFundMe link for people to pay for his dog's operation and medical costs and whatnot. So I feel like this is where Rob is heading if he hasn't already done it. It's par for the course for these people. So if you guys, I assume you're going to see a donation link. If you guys want to donate for that, go ahead and do it. Now, with people like Rob, I got to tell you guys, perhaps it's just the cynic in me. Perhaps it's me that's cynical, but I don't trust people to do the right thing. I think people out there on the internet will use their platform to take advantage of the goodwill of their followers, and you can't trust that Rob is going to use all those funds for what he says he does. If he opens up a GoFundMe, you can't trust that people use those funds. It has come multiple times that people basically steal the money and do nothing that goes back to the GoFundMe that they started. So that's why I personally don't donate. But if you guys are a fan of that, of course, I'm sure Rob will let you know at some point where you can donate money to. But that's the story with Rob. And so it appears that they're split. Sophie hinting maybe I'm going back to the UK. I don't think it's going to happen. But there you have it. The latest update on this massive train wreck of a couple that I didn't think was going to work out. And it doesn't really look very good on The Last Resort either. This couple, I don't know. I mean, there's already a pretty big age difference between the two of them. But I just don't think that Rob was ever that committed. I think he liked Sophie, but I don't know if he was that committed to Sophie. And I think that Sophie just wanted to use Rob and the platform itself to gain social media following, eventually leading to OnlyFans subscribers. I think that was her goal from the get-go. And, when we first started covering Sophie and Rob, obviously people did not like Rob because he has this negative body language. A lot of people had very nasty things to say about him. And I totally understand why, because he was living in, a decrepit apartment, no proper bathroom. He wasn't able to take care of Sophie. How could he afford to bring her to the USA when he can't take care of her? Of course, later on, it came out that maybe it was all an act because he actually comes from a family that perhaps is not as bad off as he appears to be, because he grew up in a pretty affluent neighborhood. I believe it was in Kansas State, one of the most affluent neighborhoods in America. So a lot of people started having doubts about the veracity of Rob's story and just how truthful he was in his kind of like rags to riches story, or just, his overall story of portraying himself as this guy that's just trying to make it in LA and is just having a hard time right now, but is trying to do his best. So a lot of people had questions about Rob and about this whole relationship, but most people took Sophie's side because they liked her better. She appeared more honest. She appeared more mature than he is or was or is still to this day, even though she's younger than him. So they took her side, but eventually I think people started seeing, including with the lesbian storyline, people started seeing holes in her overall story and just how honest she was. And then she started pimping out her socials a bit more, doing OnlyFans and stuff like that. And people started criticizing Sophie because I think they started seeing through the facade and started seeing her true colors, which was just to use this show and this platform to get what she wants. So eventually people started becoming critical of both Rob and Sophie as well. But you guys let me know how you see this whole thing. Let me know in the comment section down below. Did you ever think that this couple ever had a chance of working out? I didn't think so, but you guys let me know what you make of this whole thing in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please give it a big thumbs up if you did. Hit that subscribe button down below for more content here on the channel, and I will see you guys very soon. Take care.